What's up guys, today I want to talk about playing support in Battlefield 2042. Now since patch 3.2 a lot of things have changed obviously with the classes, and I'm going to talk about how to best get the most out of your support class. Support might be the easiest for new players to pick up because your main goal is going to be resupply and revive. So you are the team player of the battlefield. You're basically going to be picking up all your teammates and helping them get back out there and keep fighting. I love playing support. I think it's probably the best role in the whole game. You feel very rewarded when you play support. So things to know about the support role is you're mostly going to be in close quarters. If you're running with your squad and picking them up all the time, it does help to run an SMG, and with the class proficiency change, having a faster draw time means if you are on defibrillators or throwing down a med box, you will draw your weapon a lot quicker. So it is going to help you to play an SMG, but it doesn't mean that SMGs are the only guns you can run. There is 3 really good options that are not SMGs that I would definitely run if you're a support player and you want a really good weapon, and they do fit really well in the support class simply because of some of the traits and gadgets you have available to you. And I'll go through them as we go through all the weapons. With the class changes also sees the return of defibrillators to the support class. Now, you don't have to pull out the defibrillators to revive someone, but you can, and if you do charge it, it will give them a full health charge. But if you hold E, it will also do a full health charge. So it's kind of weird that they made it so that you can pull them out for that. But the reason you really want to pull them out is if you get close to people, you can zap people and kill them with it. And I don't think you need a full charge to kill someone. Just a little click and it'll zap someone and kill them. It's a very cool and awesome change. It's very Battlefield to bring that back. I'm really excited to see the defibrillators come back. It's very, very cool. So if all your options are exhausted and you've got your defibrillators in hand, boom, you can zap someone out of existence, and it's pretty fucking cool that it's back. So like I said, with the class changes, your weapon proficiency will be weighted towards SMGs, meaning you'll have that faster draw time on SMGs, but it also comes with restrictions as well. It means you'll only have access to ammo crate, medical crate, smoke launcher, and the M18 Claymore as your gadgets, and your throwables will be the frag grenade, smoke grenade, EMP grenade, and the incendiary grenade. There is actually a lot of weapons I want to talk about for this class because there's so many good options for the support class right now, including 5 SMGs, 1 assault rifle, 1 marksman rifle, and 1 tactical. Now, first option is the PBX-45. I know I've said this gun isn't very good in the past, but in close range, all the SMGs are very viable. They have a very quick time to kill because they all have a very high fire rate. They don't have a good headshot multiplier like the ARs, but they are very, very quick time to kill if you hit your shots. And in close range, that's what you'll be doing. So the PBX-45, you're going to run any of the close sights. I always run this kind of setup 1, 2, and 3. You're going to have 3 options for magazines. There are a few different options, but I think the best one's going to be your extended standard issue, then next your standard issue, and then your close quarters rounds, because you actually get 35 bullets with these. They hit a little bit less for damage, but you get 35 rounds and it shoots a little bit faster, so it makes up for that less damage. With this gun, I found that the Archon is probably the best muzzle brake for this gun, only because it does have a little bit of horizontal recoil, requiring you just to pull down a little bit, and you're probably always going to be on the move with this gun. So the LWG grip is going to be the choice for this one, or if you are stationary, Cobra grip. You can run a laser, but in close range, all of the SMGs are like laser beams, so you don't really need to run a laser. Next, and the best choice for the SMGs right now is going to be your PP29. This is pretty much the new meta. I've seen heaps of this going around. You just want champion muzzle brake, any of the sights you like. Fusion Holo is really, really good with this. And then any of these mags are completely viable. Let's start with standard, then go heavy, and then subsonic if you want. But this is a very easy build. PP29 is the submachine gun to run in the support class right now, and the faster draw time will help. It's really easy to use, and if you're struggling with horizontal, the Archoms are not bad choice, but you probably won't need it. Champion is the way, and then any silencer you choose, I always use wrapped. The Mp9. Now this one is a little bit hard because the Mp9 and the K30 had a bit of a nerf a couple of seasons ago. They made the spread a bit wider, but in very close range, these are very, very good options. Obviously, in close range, you want to be using a short sight, so Fusion Holo is great. It looks like there will be removing the nerf to ADS speed. So I'm not sure if you want to go back to drum mag, but the standard issue does kill quicker and you get 40 rounds. So it might be better to run the standard issue 40 rounds, faster reload, and it's higher damage, and you get a little bit more ammunition with it. But it's not going to matter in the support class anyway, because you'll probably be running ammo box or angel or something anyway. 3 options you're going to have for grips is Cobra grip, LWG grip, and your BCG light grip, depending on what you want more than anything. But I do think that the LWG and Cobra are going to be the best 2 for any of the support guns. And then Arcom Tactical is probably the best choice for this weapon. You just have to pull down, and it narrows out the spread a little bit. It makes you shoot really straight. So I think that the Mp9 Arcom champion, if you find that's helping, and then Rap Suppressor again. The K30, any sight you like is your choice. You use the Holo, you can use the UH1 like I do. And then you have your standard issue extended magazine, your high power extended, and your standard issue drum. Now when the nerf changes are reverted, the drum mag will probably be very viable again. Then you have your LWG light grip, because you're going to be constantly on the move, or your Cobra grip, or your laser, but in close range again you don't need the laser. Champion muzzle brake is the way to go with this. It does have a little bit of spread, but if you use a champion, it really does settle that vertical recoil and make it very, very easy to use. It's just a straight shooting gun and should kill very quickly in close range. The best and the only real option for the portal weapons is going to be the P90. I do recommend the Cobra sight over all the sights, but the iron sights is actually really good on this gun. It does seem to settle out some of the vertical recoil quite a bit. Laser is going to be your only real choice, and when you do put the laser on, this gun shoots very, very accurately. Up to like 30 meters, you'll be like a laser beam with the laser on with fire, so it's pretty crazy. And then the flash suppressor is going to be the only one that doesn't really kill your damage and give you a little bit of range. So the flash suppressor, laser, and reflex sight. Sorry, reflex, not Cobra. And one of the 3 other options we have for the support class, which I think is great, and it's not going to matter at all that you don't have the 3 extra magazines or the aim down sight speed, because a gun like the M5A3 already has a really quick aim down sight speed depending on what you use, and it pretty much plays like an SMG. So in close range, close combat rounds, whatever sight you like, champion muzzle brake and the laser, or any of the attachments here, the LWG light grip or the PCG light grip, are so good in the support class. It will absolutely destroy people in close range, and that fire rate is like 850, so you're smashing people with 36 rounds for close combat bullets. It's pretty strong. My other choice for support would be the close range setup for the BSV-M. Now you're going to go the K8 Holo, because it's probably the only good sight for close range, close combat rounds, because it's got a higher rate of fire. Short barrel will make it even faster, and then LWG grip for constant movement. I wouldn't bother with a laser for this gun. It has the worst hip fire in the whole game. It absolutely jumps around, so don't even worry about hip firing with this gun. Always ADS, or the Cobra grip if you're stationary. And you've got close combat rounds here and subsonic rounds here that also offer another 30. And the high power extended is quite another good choice if you want to do a lot of damage and you won't spend as much ammo. But if you're running ammo crate or angel, you'll never run out of ammo, so this is a great option to be running in the support class as well. Very fast time to kill, very accurate, and it's very, very strong. It's probably the strongest gun in the game. The other gun that's really good for support, and people are going to hate this because it's like a no skill gun, but it is very, very good. The 12M auto with the buckshot rounds, and it doesn't really matter which one you use, because buckshot rounds are really good, or flechette is really good as well. This does a little bit more damage to the body, but this is going to be great in close quarters where you're going to be reviving other people. It's a very easy setup. You're never really going to be ADSing that much, so I'll just run a laser just for a tighter spread, and use a buck shell if you want a little bit more of a wider spread to hit people like with less accuracy. You can get them down pretty quickly. If you're going to want to be a little bit more accurate and a little bit more range, you go the flechette shell. And then if you want to snipe a little bit, this gun is a one-shot headshot with the slugs. You put the 2x sight on, you hit him in the head. It's one-shot headshot, 2-shot body shot, and you can still send these rounds full auto as the slugs. So if you're very accurate, hip fire or aiming down sights, slugs are a 2-shot kill to the body, 1-shot kill to the head, and it's very, very strong. But yeah, this is a very, very strong option for support players. takes very little skill, so when you get up from a defib, you don't have to aim down sights, you just use a hip fire and you kill pretty much anyone in your way. It's really, really fun gun to use, and it is very easy to use for new players. So they're the 8 options I have come up for support players that are very, very strong in close quarters scenarios, because you're mostly going to be playing in close quarters. And let's have a look at the gear for support. So for support, this is going to depend on who you run. Angel, I would definitely be running the medical crate all the time. He can replenish his own ammo, so you don't really need to run the ammo box. If you're running Irish though, any of the choices is good, and either of these choices does refill the med pen for assault players, so it doesn't really matter which one you run. If you are running Irish, I'd probably run with the med box because it allows for you to heal yourself, but if you do, I'd be looking at which gun you pick. Maybe the PP19 is the best option because you have the most amount of ammo while you're playing and you won't need as many replenishers. But if you are wanting to run one of the more faster fire weapons, I would definitely choose the ammo crate. And then smoke launcher and M18 Claymore are the other 2 options. I would highly not recommend the M18 Claymore as a support play because you really do not offer anything to your team. And then smoke launcher is another option if you don't want to run smokes in your grenade slot. For grenades, you have the frag. This is for really aggressive support players if you want to push people out of spots and be really close quarter fighting. Frags are really good. Otherwise, if you're going for more concealed revives, smoke grenade is probably the best option, and it's probably the option I run for all my support classes just because it allows for way more options to push onto objectives and support your team. And if you run it with the ammo box, you can have infinite smokes. EMP grenade is really good if you're running with a engineer squad, like you're in a vehicle. So if you're running Irish and you're APSing, having the EMP grenade is going to be really good for taking down other vehicles. They just allow you guys to get in closer and like get rid of the vehicle. And then incendiary again is for breakthrough and indoor areas, blocking off corridors and stuff. It's not super aggressive. It doesn't really support the team very much, except for in those close quarter scenarios. So it's not one of my highest options. It would always be frag or smoke, mostly smoke. And if you're running Falk, I would definitely only run the ammo box because you don't need the med box. You can heal everyone on your team, and the ammo box still gives back assault players the med pen. So that's kind of how I'm looking at it for the support roles. Sidearms, again, this is a lot to do with preference, but the G57 is the best weapon in the game, like in terms of sidearms. It might be the best gun in the game right now, I don't know. MP28 hits very hard. You know, the M44 does very good headshot damage. P51 is actually going to be really, really good in close quarter scenarios, but it does take 7 bullets to the body to drop one person. So it's not the greatest option, but it does have 50 rounds, so you can really lay into people at a high fire rate. NVK is another great option. M1911 is probably not the best option. And then hip fire on the Rex is very accurate. Aiming down sights is not very accurate. Aiming down sights with the M93 is really good though. It's very, very fast fire rate and it does the job very well. So it really depends on how you want to play with the sidearms. But 57 first, MP28 second, and then probably the PF51, which is slightly different from the assault build is what I was saying. This gun's terrible, but it actually works very well in the support class for close range. So just a couple other tips before to get the most out of your support role. If you're using Falk and you have the Surette pistol, you can actually shoot it in the ground to heal yourself, or you can shoot it in the ground multiple times to prep an area. So if you know there's going to be a lot of fighting going down, you can prep the area so other players can run over the Surettes and it gets set up for that sort of combat scenario. So she's a really good character to use in that way. A lot of people don't know this about Angel, but if you hold down the button that replenishes ammo for other players, instead of like just tapping it, it will replenish ammo for yourself. So if you're running a gun like the K30, which runs out of ammo very quickly, you'll have an infinite supply of ammo, and it makes this gun a lot easier to use. If you're finding you're running out of ammo with any of the really super high fire rate weapons, Angel is probably one of the best characters to play in the game. He's super versatile. And then the other tip to use Irish is putting the deployable cover down, pointing the APS down when you're going to revive. It's just going to keep you alive longer. It's going to keep you and your teammate who gets revived alive longer, because there's often that time where you revive a teammate and they get shot as someone's watching the body. So putting that deployable cover down is super, super useful, and a little tip to keep you guys alive longer. So this is how you get the most out of your support role. But I definitely highly recommend, if you are running Irish, try and run with an engineer squad, because he's still insane with tanks. The shoot down sentinel is insane. Very, very good in close combat, like on exposure on the indoor areas, and it's very, very good with tanks. So if you're running in a tank squad, definitely one player should be running Irish. You definitely need it to stay alive longer. So that's my wrap up on how to get the most out of your support characters. You really want to be the team player of your team. Like I said at the start, you are doing a lot of the work keeping your team alive. It will help you win more games. It will put you higher up on the leaderboard. So even if you're not a high kill player, you don't feel like you're highly skilled at FPS games, being a support player is super, super useful, especially in Breakthrough. There is so much to revive and ammo replenishing. You're doing tons of work that goes thankless as well. Like, you are probably the most important players getting your team over the line, because anyone can draw a gun and kill people, but not everyone is willing to do logistical things. So being a great logistical player is super underrated, and you should definitely strive to be a better logistical player if you are running support. And that's my wrap up on how to get most out of the support.